So for the first overall pick, the Jags select Travon Walker from Georgia. And you get a guy, you gamble on the traits there. They could have went high floor with Aidan Hutchinson, but they're going with the guy with the sky-high ceiling, the one-of-one athlete, guy that's 270, could probably go up to 280, 285, and still be an S-tier, near one-of-one type athlete. And he's going to gamble on the traits there. I don't know how well Jacksonville's been able to develop their pass rushers. You wouldn't make this pick if you didn't believe you'd be able to develop your pass rushers. But you got to figure Walker now there trying to get after the quarterback. You know, he's still the development of Kaiir Elam potentially, but you got Josh Allen, who's a proven commodity. And this is a big get for the defense. Now, hopefully everything else on the offense starts to smooth it out. Trevor Lawrence, you got the big new wide receiver S-tier premier Christian Kirk getting paid like it. But Travon Walker, I mean, how do you grade that? That's kind of like, that's going to be something that you're not going to be able to appropriately grade until, you know, we're 2-3 years in, because there's so much work that still needs to be done. But I think for this selection, like B+ is probably where you're going to give it. So at pick 2, the Detroit Lions select Aidan Hutchinson, kind of as expected if the Jags went Travon Walker. You get the highest floor edge rusher in the draft class. What his ceiling is, you know, I'm not going to say up for debate, but, you know, it's something that you're going to have to deal with, that he might not have the highest ceiling out of all the edge rushers. But I think, again, kind of like Jacksonville to a certain degree, Detroit is very much a franchise that there's nothing wrong going with the safe pick. You need hits. You got Sewell, safe pick last year, hit. Aidan Hutchinson, safe pick this year, probably going to be a hit. Probably going to be their best pass rusher next season. I don't think there's anything wrong getting Aidan Hutchinson there for the Detroit Lions. So if I had to grade that, I'm going to give that an A. I think that's an incredibly safe pick and an immediate upgrade at a very important and premium position for Detroit. I mean, you know, just imagine they would end up just saying, screw to Aidan Hutchinson and go like Malik Willis or something, throwing an absolute wrench here in this draft. Wow, with the 3rd overall pick, the Houston Texans select Derek Stingley, opting for Stingley over Sauce Gardner, which is not that spicy. Some people might think it's that spicy, but the hype is real on Derek Stingley. He is, and in terms of ceiling, this is exactly the inverse of a different position of Travon Walker going ahead of Aidan Hutchinson. Derek Stingley going ahead of Sauce Gardner. You're going with a guy with probably a higher ceiling, but you're swinging for the fences there. You have to make sure you figure it out. You get him back to 2019 Derek Stingley. Lovie Smith, proven commodity on the defensive side of the ball. I think it's a pretty decent landing spot there for Stingley to maximize his talents. I don't hate that pick, honestly. I would have went Sauce Gardner, but if they valued and graded Derek Stingley as the BPA at that spot, which is not outrageous to believe, that's not a bad pick. I'll give that, you know, B+, trending towards an A-, because I absolutely would bank on the high ceiling of Derek Stingley Jr. to put it all together and be the prospect that we thought he was going to be in 2019. All right, so pick 4, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. Was really hoping they'd go tackler. Like, that's the dream. That was the first dream pick for Philadelphia. I mean, we still got Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'd be happy. I'd be hyped with that pick. But Sauce Gardner was the S-tier dream. And the Jets, I don't know if, you know, I don't know if the Jets panicked into this because, you know, Stingley went to the Texans there. But, I mean, I had Sauce Gardner as my number 1 player in this draft. That's a A+ pick for the Jets. Instantly their best corner. You know, you got Bryce Hall, who has some upside. That was a great value pick. And, you know, the defensive head coach goes defense. That's not really surprising, even though I was hoping for a tackle. But Jets getting Sauce, that's an A+ draft pick every day of the week. So at pick 5, this is just worst case scenario for my Philadelphia Eagles, potentially trading up to 6. The Giants go Kayvon Thibodeaux. I thought they'd go tackle, get their pick of tackle, because it seems like they'd be competing with Carolina for the top tackle. But you know what? Maybe this is just me reading too much into it. Maybe the Giants got word that Philly wanted 6 to get Thibodeaux. They remembered we jumped them to get Devonte Smith last year. So they hit us with, you know what? We're not letting you get whoever. We'll take Thibodeaux and then get whatever tackles left at 7. F you Eagles. I kind of always hoped that was the case because that just adds to the rivalry a little bit. Grading this, you know, I'd say A- for the Giants. I think that tackle is a bigger need. And if I was the Giants, I would go tackle, get the tackle that I have graded as a top tackle, unless they have Neal and Ekwonu like equal and they don't care who the Panthers pick. But I think I would have got my choice of tackle because, the Panthers are taking Thibodeaux and then got Thibodeaux at 7. So that's the only reason why I'd kind of, not giving this a home run A. I'll give it an A- just because I would have went tackle first and then Thibodeaux at 7. So, hey, we switched sites. If you're watching this as the recap video, because the NFL Network site's absolute garbage. Pick 6, the Carolina Panthers get Ikem Ekwonu. They get the top, debatably the top tackle, even though I had Evan Neal a little bit higher in my big board. But they get arguably the top tackle in this year's draft class. That's an A, solid A right there for Carolina. Get protection on the blind side. You have Taylor Moton at the right-hand side. Ikem Ekwonu, plug-and-play left tackle. Healthy Christian McCaffrey gives you as much opportunity to see if Sam Darnold can be your guy. And if not, you have a fantastic franchise tackle for the quarterback that they get next offseason, be it a trade or, draft, Bryce Young season. Who knows? So at pick 7, the Giants select Evan Neal, the tackle at Alabama. Maybe, again, maybe they didn't get the tackle that they wanted. They could have had Ekwonu higher, but that's a hell of a consolation prize. Evan Neal, plug and play, whatever you want to do with Andrew Thomas. He can play either tackle spot. He played some guard at a decent level for Alabama. Incredibly high ceiling, was number 2 on my big board. And as an Eagle fan, that's an annoying pick. I'm going to give that an A. That's an A right there for the Giants. All right, so at pick 8, I'm a Falcon fan, baby. They go Drake London, wide receiver out of USC. Thank God. I mean, there's probably people already clicking off the stream because you thought that was what you're waiting for. I already know. They're waiting for Philly to draft Drake London for me to lose my mind and find something. I got a bunch of weights back there. I would throw them through the fucking wall. They go Drake London, thank God. Hope he works out for you. Hope Drake London and Kyle Pitts are unstoppable. But how do you go Drake London over Garrett? You go jump ball wide receiver over jack of all trades wide receiver that's good at everything, or the speed threat in a league that values speed. This is a suspect pick. I'm happy. I'm going to give it a B. I'm not going to dog it completely because I'm very happy right now. So I'm going to give it a B-. So at the 9th overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks draft Charles Cross, tackle at Mississippi State. I had them in my final mock draft. Makes sense, man. You got to replace Dwayne Brown. How memey is it that after years and years and years and years and years of neglecting the offensive line with Russell Wilson, as soon as Russ is gone and you got Drew Lock in the building, Drew Lock commands the type of respect from the general manager to get that tackle. Russell Wilson could never do that. Charles Cross is a good fit. I think the drop-off between Charles Cross then down to Penning is considerable. So if you needed a tackle, I think Charles Cross is the last kind of plug-and-play tackle in this year's draft class. High ceiling, terrific pass blocker. Needs to work a little bit on his run defense, but I actually think that's a pretty good pick. I mean, here on the live chat, we're kind of clowning the Seattle Seahawks for always making bad first-round picks. I'm giving that an A. I think maybe A-, somewhere in that range. But I think I'll give it an A. Not a bad pick there for Seattle at 9. They could have done a lot worse, I think it's fair to say. With the 10th pick, the Jets get Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. They get my wide receiver 1. They get my corner 1 in Sauce Gardner. Joe Douglas crushing it. I don't want to say A+ because this is the range he was supposed to go, but this is I got to give it just an A. That's probably where Wilson should have gone anyways. I had it in my mock draft. That's an easy A, trending towards an A+. The Jets have both New York teams, to be completely fair, both New York teams have absolutely crushed this draft so far. All right, at pick 11, the Saints trade up, basically have a 3 and a 4 to move up a couple spots with the Commanders, and they get Chris Olave, wide receiver at Ohio State. Kind of surprising. I was thinking it was either Jameson Williams or Malik Willis, and they go Olave. I don't think the gap between Olave and Williams is that big. As much as we were actually kind of dogging Seattle, does seem like the Saints have suspect first-round picks as well. It's not bad. I'd say B. Like, it's a B that trends upwards. It's kind of surprising, but definitely not a bad pick, not a crazy pick, not an outrageous pick. So the Lions traded up to pick 12, swapping, and the Vikings going down to 32, and they got Jameson Williams. We thought maybe this could be Malik Willis. And I know a lot of Eagle fans are going to be upset because Philly also made a trade going from 15 to 13. A lot of Eagle fans wanted Jameson Williams. He's now off the board for the Lions. I mean, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's an intriguing gadget wide receiver type dude, but you need that deep threat, that perimeter deep threat, and you're thinking about whoever their quarterback's going to be in 2023. Jameson Williams, great player, big run on wide receivers right now. Given what they traded for it, I think that will hinder the grading on this pick just a little bit, but I'm still gonna give it an A- because speed kills in today's NFL, and Jameson Williams is the best deep threat, and the Lions just absolutely had to find their own deep threat. So it's a good pick. I'll give it an A-, trending towards probably a B+. All right, so Philadelphia traded up to 13. This is live reaction. They actually haven't made it yet. Goodell just went up on the on the podium. They didn't give up a whole lot. Couple, days, 4th and 5th round and stuff like that to flip from 15 to 13. I think it's to jump the Baltimore Ravens for Jordan Davis, but knowing Howie Roseman, he could value the edge rusher here. Go Jermaine Johnson, could go Trent McDuffie potentially, but I think it's Jordan Davis. I don't know how many mock drafts I did where I wanted Jordan Davis, and the Ravens took him 99% of the time at 14. Come on. Freaking nature. Jordan Davis, S-tier athlete. Some risk. Got to get him motivated. Is for better for worse, he's Albert Haynesworth. I think he has his upside though is literally to be like an unstoppable defensive tackle. And you got Fletcher Cox on a 1 year, could be potential successor. I'm hoping Jordan Davis. I'm prepared for Jermaine Johnson. Come on, make the pick. Also, big shout out to this point. If I'm just uploading this to the Eagles reaction, big shout out to the Falcons for getting Drake London. Even though this video would have done good numbers if it was Drake London. Philadelphia selects at 13. Jordan Davis, baby! Let's go! That is very well done, Howie Roseman. Last year, we jumped ahead of the Giants to get Devontae Smith. This year, we jump ahead of the Ravens to get Jordan Davis. 6'6", 340 pounds, 10 RAS, 101 type out. They aren't built like Jordan Davis. We keep them motivated. That's the big thing. That's why I said, for better for worse, he's Albert Haynesworth. I was talking in the chat before I started recording this. Albert Haynesworth, at his peak with the Tennessee Titans, was Aaron Donald level of dominant. He was the best defensive player in the NFL. He was unblockable. That is the ceiling of Jordan Davis. That's what you hope Jordan Davis can be. But then Albert Haynesworth got big-time money with the Washington and literally was like a meme. One of the worst, like $100 trillion contract, and was out of the league. Was always out of shape and didn't want to. There's the downside, the risk of Jordan Davis. But as it stands, that is an excellent pick. He was one of my dream picks for Philadelphia if we didn't have to trade up. Like, who was realistically at 15? Jordan Davis was, one, like S tier. We trade up to go get him. We leapfrog the Baltimore Ravens. Very, very happy with this pick. This is an A pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully, though, we got a motivated Jordan Davis. Very happy with that, though, man. Oh, man, you just imagine the views this would have done if it was Drake London. I was ready. I didn't have anything to throw, so I'd have to manufacture something to throw if this was Drake London. But knowing that I had anxiety that this was going to be Drake London, and we end up with Jordan Davis, it's a good day, man. Very, very happy with that. Let's go. Jordan Davis is a Philadelphia Eagle. We have 18 here. We could look at trading back depending on how the board falls. We could still maybe get Kyle Hamilton. Jermaine Johnson could be there. McDuffie could be there. They could look at Karlaftis at 18. If not, you trade back. You get back some of the picks that you traded to get Jordan Davis at 13. Life is good for the Philadelphia. Might not have been Sauce Gardner. Might not have been trading up for Kayvon Thibodeaux. But Jordan Davis, my number 6 player on my big board. That's an awesome pick for Philly. Let's go Eagles. All right, so pick 14, they go Kyle Hamilton. Would have loved him to fall to Philly at 18. Probably pretty unrealistic that was going to happen. Of course, my draft stream here kind of freezes. But I mean, safety was a need. Maybe not a top tier need for Baltimore, but it was up there. And the fact that they probably had Kyle Hamilton, and I guarantee some teams didn't write off Kyle Hamilton like kind of like draft community did. That's good value, getting Kyle Hamilton at 14. You would have thought Baltimore might have thought that maybe they'd have to trade up if they were going to try to get Kyle Hamilton. I'll give that an A. Probably trending towards maybe an A-. Don't know if that was the biggest need for Baltimore, but I know I was consistently mocking like a tackle, and Ravens fans hated that. So I think Kyle Hamilton is going to be a big hit for the Ravens fans here. I'll give that pick there an A-. Versatile player. Could use him maybe as like a little bit of a hybrid linebacker. Deep safety, has the range. A little bit stiff, but still a very good football player. A little bit annoyed that he wasn't falling to Philly, to be honest with you. All right, at pick 15. The Houston Texans get Kenyon Green. Surprising they would go Kenyon Green over Jermaine Johnson. Or even Malik. A free fall of quarterbacks. I mean, it's a weak quarterback class. Kenyon Green, versatile. I mean, a guy that you could probably get away playing a tackle if you wanted to, but he's most likely going to be an interior lineman. Yeah, I would say not a brutal pick, but given some of the players that are there, if you're in a BPA scenario, which are the Houston Texans, they have a lot of holes. I don't know if Kenyon Green's the best pick at that spot. I'll give that a B-. A B-, trending towards like maybe a C+. Just a weird pick. Not a bad player. Versatile player. Should be solid. High floor type guard. but an interior lineman with some of these other players on the board, maybe a little suspect. Okay, we're here. What? Titans are planning to trade A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles. I assume that's for pick 18, according to Adam Schefter. What? Is this pick gone? Like, do we keep pick 18? Philly just traded for... The Commanders go Jahan Dotson here at 16. Philly just traded for A.J. Brown? What? And I'm not seeing no trade here yet on the old sim here. If we kept 18 and we just got A.J. Brown. Absolute beast. Absolute beast. I would say right now, you gotta view this. You have to view this as you know, we don't know if we're saying 18. Most likely, we're probably giving that up. But would you want A.J. Brown, Treylon Burks, I mean, I would love George Pickens. But, I mean, A.J. Brown compared to these guys, you go A.J. Brown. What? We got A.J. Brown? Holy shit. I mean, a little, like, you know, he had some injuries there. But I need to hear the conversation. Does Philly still have 8? There's no way we still have 18. Someone's saying 18 and 101 for A.J. Brown. Holy shit. I mean, wishful thinking. 18 and 118 is gone. So we gotta make that trade here for the old. Would have loved to stay at 18. So 18 is going to the Titans. We'll just, you know, whatever, round that one. A.J. Brown. Wow. That's, you know, I gotta have to pay him, right? Isn't there something going on with the contract there for A.J. Brown? They're gonna have to figure that out, Philly. But I mean, him and Jalen Hurts always working out. Jesus, holy. I mean, that's 1,000. Like, you know, that's A.J. Brown's a beast, dude. I don't even know really. Like, you know, this is kind of taking you back here a little bit. What is happening? Chargers get Zion John. Like, it just really feels like everything else a wet fart here for the remainder of this draft. A.J. Brown and Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis and A.J. Brown just made a tweet. Good job, Howie Roseman. How am I feeling? Again, it comes down... honestly, outside of the fact that we're going to have to pay A.J. Brown, and he's going to want to get his bag. A.J. Brown is an awesome player. Fell in love with him his rookie year because... You got to remember that weird... A.J. Brown was like always kind of considered a first rounder, and then he just really wasn't on draft day. He's been very good for Tennessee. He's been, let's be honest, kind of like Philadelphia. He's been productive in a limited passing offense, which is good for Philadelphia as long as we're still trying to figure out with Jalen Hurts. I will say it's a little, I don't want to say confusing, but you know A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts are buddies. They're always posted on social media together. So like it'd be one of those deals where like maybe that's how this trade came to fruition. And if Jalen Hurts doesn't work out and they go with a different quarterback in 2023, are you setting some sort of drama up potentially for the Philadelphia Eagles? Which, you know, you probably lean towards yes, but you have to just genuinely take it at face value that the Eagles want to see if Jalen Hurts can be their guy this year, and you have to go get weapons. And then it comes down to the fact that if you're the Tennessee Titans and you were not going to pay whatever A.J. Brown wanted, you're going to take that gamble. This is Philly taking, if they were going like, we're going best wide receiver at 18. We're going to go Burks, we're going to go George Pickens, whatever. That's the lottery. With A.J. Brown, you're getting a proven commodity. You're getting a guy that's an absolute monster. You're getting a guy that's an absolute game wrecker. I hope he can stay healthy. But A.J. Brown and Devonte Smith, that is big business. We're going to be cheesy YouTuber here. Hit that like button if you're hyped for the fact that Philly has left this first round with Jordan Davis and A.J. Brown. It's not what... I'm trying to process this. So we got pick 18, the A.J. Brown pick. Titans say, no, we don't want A.J. Brown. They bring in Treylon Burks. I think that's kind of the move you got to make. If it was never going to work out with A.J. Brown, you might as well go out and get a legit bona fide wide receiver, first-round caliber wide receiver. You know, I would say if you're comparing them straight up, if it's not, not in a vacuum, you'd probably rather, there's going to be people that go, why don't we just re-sign A.J. Brown? Why do we get Treylon Burks? Now we have a mystery, we have a guy we don't know it's going to be a thing for someone like A.J. Brown, which is a legitimate, wide receiver one in this league. That's not a bad pick for Tennessee, though. I mean, there's going to be, I don't know, there's going to be some people that are fine with this. There's going to be some people that are doom and gloom. I think it's maybe potentially best case scenario from an ugly situation. I'm going to give that, I would give that probably an A if Burks fell to them at 26. But the fact that you are kind of now going to have to put that pressure on Treylon Burks to step up and replace the production A.J. Brown, that's going to trend probably more towards a B+ there for the Tennessee Titans. Pick 19, the New Orleans Saints select Trevor Penning. Chat was thinking it was Malik Willis' season. It looks like that's on the menu for Pittsburgh. I mean, you go into this draft, Penning, tackle, wide receiver. They get Penning and Olave. They're kind of ticking off the boxes, filling the biggest holes on the Saints in this draft. But a lot of people just thought when they made that trade with Philadelphia, it was for a quarterback. They end up getting Penning. B-. It's a guy with some risk, big jump up in competition. People think there could be concerns about penalties and getting flags, but he's probably the best tackle left on the board. Yeah, B-. Wow, at 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers, everyone thought this was going to be a quarterback. Everyone thought it was going to be Malik Willis at this point. Kenny Pickett goes ahead of Malik Willis. Pittsburgh has their new quarterback of the future. I had him mocked here, but that was because I had Malik Willis off the board. That is going to be, I hope it works out. I think Kenny Two Gloves is a very fun quarterback, but this is going to be a very polarizing moment for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the next 5 years. Did they make the right call? Big decision to go Kenny Pickett over Malik Willis. That is, I don't know how you grade that. That is huge. They literally had their choice of the top quarterbacks, and they went kind of off schedule a little bit, off the... I don't even know how to... I would give a B with upside. I don't know. Where's Malik Willis go then? Tennessee, 26. All right, we got pick 21. The Kansas City Chiefs have traded up with the New England Patriots to get Trent. I thought this was for sure for Jermaine Johnson, or maybe they loved a wide receiver. Maybe they love George Pickens here or something like that. And they get Trent McDuffie, who's, again, kind of a polarizing corner, but if you can believe that he can play on the outside, that's a position in need. I was having them getting, Andrew Booth type guys, Kaiir Elam. Trent McDuffie is, on some people's boards, considered the top corner in this year's draft class. So I don't know off the top of the head right now the compensation for the Chiefs to go out and be aggressive to get Trent McDuffie. But as far as landing the player, I'll give that, honestly, I'll give that an A. I'll give that A trending towards an A- for the, not a lot of bad picks here, man. That's good business there from the Kansas City Chiefs. So again, we're here, Green Bay. Quay Walker, good football player. What? I was very certain this was going to be a Georgia. They just paid Devontae Campbell. I mean, you need 2 linebackers, but that is, I can't give it an F because Quay Walker is very good. I think he's right out there, potential maybe be the best linebacker of this class. Player's good. Good player. Can't give him an F out of respect for the player. But for Green Bay, sure, the wide receiver, George Pickett. D for Quay Walker. And that's just because, and that's only reason why it's not an F is because I do think Quay Walker's a very good football player. Wow. Sorry, Packer fans. The Buffalo Bills at 23 select Kaiir Elam, corner out of Florida. Gator bias, full effect. So stoked. Kaiir Elam, very good. Well, I think, if you're ranking the corners in this year's draft class in terms of their ceiling, in terms of their upside, I think he was 3rd corner in this class all day long after Stingley and Sauce Gardner. Kaiir Elam, very good. Play on the other side of Trey White. You got Teron Johnson in the slot. It's a very good secondary. Man, I like the Bills. I've kind of adopted the Bills a little bit as my AFC team. Very happy that we get to see a Florida Gator go there. I think Sean McDermott's going to get the best out of them. Kaiir Elam to Buffalo, I'm giving that an A. Dallas at 24, when we were just like, man, are they going to have Jermaine Johnson fall into the lap? Are they going to do something, Devonte Wyatt, pick the guy with the red flag? They go Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. Now, I had Tyler Smith as a first rounder. not, that's not consensus amongst a lot of people, but he was the next rated tackle. From our chat here, live stream, did seem like Dallas Cowboy fans were kind of hoping they were going in the direction of offensive line. Gotta question the value there a little bit, but again, you don't know. Maybe Baltimore was looking at tackle. Tennessee could be looking at tackle. Bengals could have looked at Tyler Smith potentially, but I like Tyler Smith. I think I had him as my 4th tackle in this year's draft class. Shout out to all the Patrons that subscribe to that. So again, it's kind of in a way, kind of like Green Bay to a certain extent, where it's like you question the value at that pick, but he's a solid player. I'll give that like a low B trending towards a B- for Dallas, but not a bad player. High upside lineman, and that old line needs to get better. You gotta find your replacement for La'el Collins, right? All right, pick 25. The Ravens traded back up in the first round to get Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa, aka Jason Kelce regen. It's the Ravens. They don't make bad picks. I had Linderbaum as a top 10 talent in this year's draft, but I expect him to kind of fall late first round because, he's primarily right now an undersized blocking, like run blocking center. But run blocking center going to Baltimore is pretty goddamn valuable. I think that's an outstanding pick for the Baltimore Ravens. Might not be the sexy pick. Easy A for me all day. Even if he's like half of what Jason Kelce is, that's an outstanding pick for the Baltimore Ravens. Pick 26, the Jets get Jermaine Johnson. They won the draft. They won the. I was lower on Jermaine Johnson than some. I think I had him in 20s on my big board. I'm not surprised that he fell, but the fact that there was legitimate talk that they could get Jermaine Johnson at 10. I saw a couple mock drafts that had Jermaine Johnson at 4. So the fact that they left this draft with Sauce Gardner, who's corner 1, Garrett Wilson, who's wide receiver 1, and then you get Jermaine Johnson, who's if you're going by consensus, edge 3 in this year's draft class. That's a masterclass from the Jets. I'll say one in this video. I'm giving that an A. Jets might be my Madden 23 team at this point. They just might. Even though I don't know if I want to play Zach Wilson again, they just might. Great job, Joe Douglas, masterclass. And at pick 27, the Jaguars trade back up into the first round, and they get Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from Utah. Bonafide first rounder in this year's draft class. Sure, there's a little bit of speed concerns. I mean, when he ran it, that was disappointing. But literally, you look at what he brought to the Utah defense. He's just absolute playmaker. And obviously, the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to move on from Miles Jack. Then you look at their linebacking core after that. You got Olave coming over from the Falcons in free agency. You got maybe Shea Song, be the Sam pass rusher, but someone like Devin Lloyd really comes in, and Olaku's probably gonna be the replacement for Miles Jack stylistically. Devin Lloyd's gonna be his own thing. I mean, that's a good value pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Absolutely, get it. It's everybody's getting a C4's in a good mood because Philly didn't get Drake London, but I think he kind of had to give that an A for Jacksonville. And at pick 28, Green Bay helps out Aaron Rodgers by selecting Devonte Wyatt. Very talented D tackle, would be probably a defensive end in their scheme. If the off the field wasn't there, this is a good player going to a team that probably wants to get better at 3-4 defensive end. It's just not the wide receiver that they just, even from a morale standpoint, you had to get here, man. George Pickens at 28 was a smart pick. Devonte Wyatt, red flags. Good player, though. I treat this the exact same that I treat 22 for Quay Walker. It's a good player, probably going to be a good fit for Green Bay. It's just not the pick the fans want it. It's probably not the pick they want, especially now, is if when he goes to the second round, what if this wide receiver market, some of these top guys gets depleted, and you say Green Bay is trying to replace Devontae Adams with Jalen Tolbert, for an example. And not no disrespect, Tolbert's a good player, but still, that's a weird pick, man. I'd give that a C, C plus, somewhere in that range, because Devontae White's a very good player, but the off the field, and for the Green Bay Packers needs, it's a weird pick. And at pick 29, the Patriots select Cole Strange, guard from Chattanooga. So they traded away Shaq Mason for a 5th round pick, and they drafted a 3rd round riser. I mean, he was a riser, right? He a very good athlete. Fit all the measurables. They drafted a 3rd round, a solid 3rd rounder at pick 29 in the 1st round. Now, Patriots know what they're doing when it comes to offensive linemen. That's an F. That's an absolute, it's not an F from the standpoint that Cole Strange is a terrible player. It's an F because there's no value there. That is the worst value without a shadow of a doubt in this first round. Pick 30 after this. I'm a father of two pun right there. A strange pick at 29. Kansas City gets George Karlaftis, edge rusher, like a legitimate first round caliber edge rusher out of Purdue. Might be more in that Aidan Hutchinson high floor, low ceiling type role. But also, he didn't have a whole lot of production in Purdue, so you are gambling that there is that ceiling there. Not a bad pick here. Kansas City ends up with their 2 first rounders, getting George Karlaftis, Trent McDuffie, not the wide receiver some people were expecting. Probably the board didn't fall the way that they were hoping. But they're getting 2 big. That's low key, pretty good. I think George Karlaftis at 30, just because I don't want to just keep giving. I'll give it an A- because of the fact that they didn't get that wide receiver. But that's a very good value pick at a position of need for Kansas City, A-. And at pick 31, the Bengals select Dax Hill. It's fair safety. He's listed as safety. Better classified as a deep. Weird pick. I mean, I assume you make this selection with the idea that you're going to find a way to get him and Jesse Bates on the field at the same time, or do they not? Are they not confident that they can get that long-term extension with Jesse Bates? Did they get that? I could be brain farting that. I thought they just tagged him. But I was like, he's a nickel. He could be a nickel, but then again, don't they have Mike Hilton? Mike Hilton's an outstanding nickel. So it's kind of weird. You should make this under the assumption they're going to find a way to get Dax Hill and Jesse Bates out in the field. That could be a very good combination. Kind of a surprising pick, but I mean, where else do they go at this spot, right? If you're Cincinnati, I think you could look at Andrew Booth at corner. I probably would have went Andrew Booth at corner because he gives you outside. He's an outside corner. That's his ceiling, to be a starting outside kind of lockdown corner. But I mean, the linemen, we always talk about still, even with Lael Collins and what they've done, they still could invest in the offensive line. I had Linderbaum going here. It's not a lot of value, unless you're the Patriots and you could be drafting just whoever, like Cam Jurgens or something not a lot of value at the offensive line at this spot. So if you're going BPA, they don't need Malik Willis. I mean, if I was Cincinnati, I'd be seeing if any of those QB teams want to trade up, give them the board. I think I would have went Booth, but Daxton Hill's a versatile player. Find a way to get both of them on the field. We'll give, I'll give that B+, a strong B+. All right, so we thought at pick 32 that the Minnesota Vikings, I was thinking Andrew Booth at corner. That was the guy that they could have got before they even traded back. The fact they're still at 32 could be their own little Jermaine Johnson situation where they trade back and still get the guy they might have got. People were talking, maybe Malik Willis. I was surprised some team didn't trade up to get Malik Willis like the Ravens did when they got Lamar Jackson. Maybe the Vikings could have stayed put and get Malik Willis. And they get Lewis Cine, this safety from Georgia. Not necessarily shocking, because I think a lot of people were maybe even considering Kyle Hamilton to the Minnesota Vikings at their original spot. So the fact that they got a safety is not crazy. It's weird that, hey, Malik Willis slipped out of the first round, but Lewis Cine grading that B+. You got to get younger, a little bit younger at that safety core. Maybe the successor for Harrison Smith. So not a bad piece of business for Lewis Cine. But yeah, that for everyone that's watching this on the YouTubes and the recap is the grades. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will be streaming tomorrow night on Friday for the second and third rounds. So if you want to come hang out again, I appreciate everyone that did hang out here tonight. Thank you very much. If it's the first time I saw by, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And let's do it all again tomorrow night. What a first round. Philly, Jordan Davis, A.J. Brown. Let's go, baby. Go Eagles.